I used to think 15 years meant something. I was wrong. Sitting in my truck outside the electronics store, I stare at the small GPS tracker in my palm. $29.99 to confirm what my gut already knows. Claire is lying to me. It started small, the way these things always do. Coming home 30 minutes later, then an hour. Claiming exhaustion when I'd reach for her in bed, turning away with a sigh that felt like a door slamming shut. Our conversations became transactions, grocery lists, bill payments, scheduling around her increasingly mysterious work commitments. Claire used to wake up before me, padding around our kitchen in my old t-shirts, humming while she made coffee. She'd kiss my forehead when I stumbled downstairs, press a warm mug into my hands. Now she's dressed and out the door before I'm fully awake, leaving only the lingering scent of her perfume, a new one I don't recognize. "I'm just really focused on this promotion," she'd say when I'd ask about her late nights. "Marketing is cutthroat right now. I have to prove myself." I wanted to believe her. For months I explained away the distance, the locked phone, the way she'd startle when I walked into a room. Claire worked hard. She always had. But electricians learned to trust their instincts about faulty wiring, and something in our marriage had been sparking wrong for too long. The breaking point came last Tuesday night. Claire bounced into our bedroom, more animated than I'd seen her in months. "I have amazing news," she said, sitting on the edge of our bed. "The company is sending me to a leadership retreat this weekend. Lake Harmony Resort. It's going to be incredible for my career." I looked up from my book. "Lake Harmony? That's new." "It's exclusive," she said quickly. "Only senior staff. I'll be networking with executives from the corporate office." She showed me the confirmation email on her phone, but only for a second, too quick for me to read the details. When I asked about the other attendees, she rattled off names I'd never heard before. Jennifer Walsh from accounting, Mike Torres from sales. People who, in 15 years of company Christmas parties and work stories, had never once been mentioned. That night, I watched her pack. The red dress that still had tags on it. The matching lingerie set she'd bought months ago but never wore for me. The expensive perfume she claimed was a confidence booster for work. I lay awake until 3 a.m., listening to her breathe beside me, wondering when my wife had become a stranger. Thursday morning, I called in sick to work and drove to Mike's Electronics on 5th Street. The young clerk who sold me the tracker couldn't have been more than 20, with enthusiastic opinions about battery life and range capabilities I didn't need to hear. I paid cash and left without making eye contact. Now it's Friday at 5 a.m., and I'm crouched in our garage with a tiny magnetic device and a marriage I don't recognize. The tracker attaches easily to the inside of Claire's rear wheel well, invisible unless you know where to look. My hands shake slightly as I activate it through the app on my phone. 15 years of shared mortgages and birthday dinners and quiet Sunday mornings. 15 years of believing that when she said she loved me, she meant it the way I meant it when I said it back. The GPS shows a steady signal from our driveway. I hear her heels clicking on the kitchen floor above me. Then the jingle of car keys. The garage door opener hums to life, and I press myself against the workbench as Claire's silver sedan backs out into the gray dawn. Through the app, I watch the blue dot that represents my wife begin to move. She told me she'd take I-75 north toward the lake. The dot moves south instead. My phone buzzes with a text from her. "Love you. See you Sunday night?" I watch the blue dot continue moving in the wrong direction, carrying my wife toward whatever truth I'm not ready to face. The tracker works perfectly. I almost wish it didn't. The blue dot stops moving at 9:47 a.m. I've been staring at my phone for 4 hours. Watching Claire's location remain fixed at an address that Google Maps identifies as a private residence on Lakeside Drive. Not the Marriott Conference Center. Not Lake Harmony Resort. A house. My coffee has gone cold. The electrical job I'm supposed to be working on sits untouched while I zoom in and out of the map, hoping the technology is wrong. Hoping there's some explanation that doesn't involve my wife lying directly to my face. The address belongs to a lakeside cabin, according to the satellite view. Isolated, private, the kind of place you go when you don't want to be found. I call my supervisor and take a sick day, my voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through my system. Then I get in my truck and drive toward whatever's left of my marriage. The 2-hour drive feels endless and too short at the same time. I run through scenarios, each one worse than the last. Maybe she's helping a colleague with a personal crisis. Maybe it's a work emergency. Maybe the GPS is wrong. But electricians don't stay employed long if they ignore obvious problems, and this problem has been obvious for months. Lakeside Drive winds through tall pines and expensive privacy. The cabin sits at the end of a gravel road, hidden from the main street by trees and strategic landscaping. I park a quarter-mile away and approach on foot, my heart hammering against my ribs. Claire's silver sedan sits in the driveway next to a black BMW I don't recognize. Through the large windows facing the lake, I can see movement inside. Two figures silhouetted against the afternoon light. I creep closer, using the tree line for cover until I have a clear view through the living room windows. Claire stands in the center of the room, wearing the red dress she packed for her professional retreat. She's laughing, wine glass in hand, while a man I recognize slides his arms around her waist from behind. Connor Morris, her boss. The same Connor Morris who attended our barbecue last summer with his wife Laura and their two kids. The same Connor Morris who shook my hand and complimented my grilling technique while apparently planning to destroy my marriage. My phone becomes a weapon. Crouched behind a stack of firewood, I start documenting everything. Photos of them dancing, videos of them kissing, timestamps and license plates and the cabin's address. My electrician's training serves me well. Every piece of evidence gets cataloged and backed up to the cloud automatically. When they disappear into what I assume is the bedroom, I force myself to stay. I photograph the BMW's license plate, research the cabin's rental information online, even document the wine bottles they've left on the kitchen counter. Evidence of premeditation, evidence of planning, evidence of a relationship that didn't start this weekend. Connor Morris has been with Claire's company for 12 years, married for 15, same as us. I find his LinkedIn profile, his wife's Facebook account, photos of their family vacations and anniversary dinners. His daughter just made honor roll. His son plays varsity baseball. As darkness falls, I retreat to my truck but don't go home. Instead, I spend the night researching, planning, thinking. I learn that Connor drives a leased BMW through the company, that he and Laura live in an $800,000 house in the suburbs, that Laura works as a paralegal and posts frequently about family values and marriage commitment. The irony would be funny if it wasn't destroying my life. At 11 p.m., my phone buzzes with a text from Claire. Missing you. Conference is boring but productive. Can't wait to see you Sunday night. I stare at the message for a long time. The casual cruelty of it settles into my chest like ice. She's lying in another man's arms, texting me about missing me. She's looking at photos of our life together while building a secret life that erases me completely. Something cold and calculating takes hold in my mind. Claire wants to play games with other people's lives? Fine. But she's about to learn that some games have consequences she never considered. I don't text back. Instead, I save Laura Morris's contact information and start planning exactly what I'm going to say to her. If Claire thinks she's the only one who can keep secrets, she's about to discover how wrong she is. Sunday afternoon, I sit in my truck outside Laura Morris's house for 20 minutes, gathering courage I didn't know I needed. The house is everything Claire always said she wanted. Brick colonial, manicured lawn, 3-car garage, a basketball hoop in the driveway where Connor probably played with his son before he decided marriage vows were optional. Laura's white Lexus sits beside a kid's bike left carelessly on the sidewalk. I've rehearsed this conversation a dozen times, but my hands still shake as I walk to the front door. Laura answers wearing yoga pants and a t-shirt, her dark hair pulled back in a messy bun. She's attractive in an understated way, with laugh lines around her eyes that remind me painfully of how Claire used to look before the distance crept in. Recognition flickers across her face when I introduce myself. Daniel Harris, I say, Claire's husband. Her expression shifts immediately. Confusion, then wariness. She's heard my name before, but not in any context that explains why I'm standing on her doorstep on a Sunday afternoon. I need to show you something about your husband, I say quietly. Laura's composure cracks just slightly. She steps back, opens the door wider. Come in! Her living room is family chaos. Kids' homework scattered on the coffee table, a basket of unfolded laundry, family photos covering every surface. Photos of Connor with his arm around Laura, both of them smiling like people who believed their marriage was solid. I sit on the edge of their couch and pull out my phone. These were taken Friday afternoon, I begin, and methodically present my evidence. Photos, videos, timestamps. Laura doesn't cry or scream. Instead, she asks pointed questions, dates, locations, details. Her paralegal training shows in the way she processes information, looking for patterns and inconsistencies. He said he was meeting a client in Detroit, she says, staring at a photo of Connor kissing my wife. He's been doing that a lot lately. Client meetings that require overnight trips. She disappears into Connor's home office and returns with credit card statements. Together, we piece together the timeline. Expensive dinners at restaurants I've never heard of. Hotel charges on nights when both our spouses claim to be working late. A systematic deception that's been going on for months. Look at this, Laura says, pointing to a charge from 3 months ago. Bella Roma, downtown. $260 for dinner. He told me he had food poisoning that night, couldn't even look at the leftover Chinese takeout I'd ordered for myself. The evidence is overwhelming and methodical. This isn't a moment of weakness or a recent mistake. This is a calculated affair that required extensive planning and constant lies to both their families. Laura's face has gone pale, but her voice remains steady. What do you want to do about this? I want to end it, I say. Permanently? She nods slowly. I have a friend who's a divorce attorney. She specializes in infidelity cases. While Laura makes phone calls, I research my wife's company policies regarding workplace relationships. What I find is better than I hoped. Connor is technically Claire's supervisor, making their affair a violation of the company's harassment policies. Both of them could face immediate termination. Laura's attorney friend agrees to meet with us that evening. Sarah is sharp and direct, with 15 years of experience handling high-profile divorce cases. She reviews our evidence and nods approvingly. This is extensive documentation, Sarah says. Combined with the workplace relationship violation, you both have strong cases. But I'd recommend moving strategically rather than emotionally. We spend the evening developing a coordinated plan. Laura will serve Connor with divorce papers at his office Monday morning, ensuring his colleagues witness the moment. I'll confront Claire at home simultaneously. We'll forward all evidence to HR, forcing the company to act quickly to avoid liability. There's one more thing, Laura says as we're finalizing details. She hands me a manila folder. Connor has been having me help with his business paperwork at home. I found some irregularities in his expense reports. Small amounts but consistent. I think he's been using company funds to pay for their dates. I flip through the documents. Restaurant charges submitted as client meetings. Hotel stays billed as business travel, gift purchases labeled as office supplies. Connor hasn't just been cheating on his wife and destroying my marriage. He's been stealing from the company to fund it. This changes everything, Sarah says. Personal betrayal is one thing. Corporate fraud is criminal. By the time Laura and I finish planning, it's nearly midnight. We exchange phone numbers and promise to execute our plan simultaneously at 8:30 a.m. No warnings, no second chances, no opportunity for either of them to contact the other. As I drive home, I feel something I haven't experienced in months. Control. For too long, I've been reacting to Claire's deception, trying to understand why our marriage was falling apart while she actively destroyed it behind my back. Tomorrow, she'll discover that actions have consequences, that lies compound into disasters, that the husband she thought she could manipulate and deceive has been planning his own surprise. Claire's car isn't in the driveway when I get home. She texted earlier about extending the retreat through Sunday night. More networking opportunities, she claimed. I set my alarm for 6 a.m. and organized my evidence folders one final time. Tomorrow, 2 marriages end. 2 careers implode. 2 people learn that betrayal is a game both sides can play, but only one side has been preparing for it. Monday morning arrives gray and cold. I've been awake since 4 a.m., sitting at our kitchen table with my evidence folders arranged in perfect order. Coffee cooling in my mug, phone charged and ready. At exactly 8:15 a.m., Claire's key turns in the front door. She enters expecting Monday morning routine. Kiss, hello, discussion of our days ahead, the comfortable predictability of 15 years together. Instead, she finds her belongings packed in boxes by the entrance and me sitting motionless at the table. Daniel, confusion clouds her voice. What's going on? Why are my things... We need to talk, I say. My voice steady despite the adrenaline flooding my system. She approaches cautiously, still wearing the clothes she packed for her fake business retreat. The red dress is wrinkled now, her makeup smudged. She looks like exactly what she is, someone returning from a weekend of betraying her marriage. "Sit down," I say, gesturing to the chair across from me. Claire sits slowly, her eyes darting between my face and the manila folders in front of me. "Daniel, you're scaring me. What's wrong?" I open the first folder and slide a photograph across the table. Her and Connor Morris dancing in the cabin's living room, wine glasses in hand, Friday afternoon. The color drains from her face. "I can explain," she starts. I slide another photo across. Her and Connor kissing by the lake Saturday morning. "Daniel, it's not what you think." Another photo. Connor's hands on her waist as they stand in the cabin's doorway. "Stop!" Her voice cracks. "Please stop, I don't stop." I methodically present every piece of evidence. Photographs, timestamps, videos, credit card statements Laura provided showing their restaurant dates. Claire's denials crumble with each new revelation. "You violated my privacy," she finally says, anger replacing panic. "You followed me. You stalked me. That's illegal?" "You want to talk about illegal?" I pull out my phone. "I'm forwarding these photos to your HR department right now, along with the financial records showing how Connor used company money to fund your affair." Her face goes white. "You can't do that. You'll destroy my career. Your career." The cold anger I've been controlling for months finally surfaces. "You destroyed our marriage. You've been lying to me for months." "Claire, months. Every fake business trip, every late meeting, every time you came home and kissed me hello after spending the day with him." My phone chimes as the email sends successfully. Claire's phone buzzes simultaneously. HR has received the evidence and is already taking action. The company policy is very clear, I continue. Workplace relationships between supervisors and subordinates result in immediate termination. Corporate fraud results in criminal charges. Congratulations, you've managed both. Claire starts crying, but they're angry tears, not remorseful ones. 15 years, Daniel. Doesn't that mean anything to you? It meant everything to me, I reply. That's why this hurts so much. 15 years meant I trusted you completely. 15 years meant I never questioned your late nights or weekend trips or new clothes. 15 years meant I believed you when you said you loved me. Across town, Laura is serving Connor with divorce papers in his office lobby. Security cameras capture everything as his colleagues watch his world implode in real time. My phone rings. Sarah, Laura's attorney, confirming that both HR departments have received our evidence packages and both companies are taking immediate action to limit liability. By noon, both Claire and Connor receive calls requesting their immediate presence in HR. Neither returns to work that day. The company terminates both employees before 2 p.m., citing policy violations and potential criminal activity. Claire comes home that evening to find the locks changed, and me waiting on the front porch with a restraining order. "You can't do this!" she calls out through the closed door. "This is my house too. You chose this," I tell her calmly. "Every lie, every secret meeting, every fake business trip, you chose this ending." She breaks down on our front lawn, sobbing and begging neighbors for help while I watch from the window. The woman I married is gone, replaced by someone I don't recognize, someone capable of systematic deception and casual cruelty. Her mother arrives 30 minutes later, helps Claire into her car without making eye contact with me. As they drive away, Claire tries to slip a letter under my door, but I don't read it immediately. Some words don't deserve an audience anymore. The house feels different without her, not empty, but clean. Like something toxic has finally been removed. I pour myself a glass of whiskey and sit in my recliner, feeling not satisfaction, but a cold sense of justice served. 15 years meant something. It meant I deserved better than lies and betrayal. It meant our marriage vows were supposed to matter. It meant the woman I trusted with my heart shouldn't have handed it to someone else without telling me she was done with it. Tomorrow I'll start figuring out what comes next. Tonight I just want to sit in the quiet honesty of a house with no secrets. 6 months later, I sit in my newly quiet house, reading Claire's final letter for the first time. The paper is wrinkled from where I've carried it around, unopened, for months. Her handwriting hasn't changed. Still the careful script she used for grocery lists and birthday cards. But the words feel like they come from a stranger. Daniel, I know you'll probably never forgive me, but I need you to understand that I never meant for it to happen this way. Connor and I just connected in a way that felt inevitable. You and I had grown apart and I was lonely and he made me feel seen again. I know that's not an excuse, but it's the truth. I loved you for 15 years, that was real. But somewhere along the way, we stopped being what each other needed. I'm sorry I didn't have the courage to end things honestly before starting something new. I'm sorry I hurt you. I hope someday you can remember the good years instead of how it ended. The apologies ring hollow now. They're the words I might have wanted to hear 6 months ago when discovering her betrayal felt like losing half my identity. Now they just sound like someone trying to justify the unjustifiable. Connor Morris lost everything. His marriage, his career, and faces 18 months in federal prison for embezzlement. Prosecutors found evidence of financial irregularities going back 3 years. Laura received a significant settlement in their divorce and moved to Colorado with their children. Starting fresh, where nobody knows their story, Claire moved back to her childhood home in Ohio. Unemployable in marketing after the scandal, she works retail now at a department store, a humbling fall from her corporate position. Her social media accounts, which once showcased expensive dinners and work achievements, now mostly feature inspirational quotes about second chances and personal growth. I kept the house. Our house. But it's mine now in ways it never was before. I've repainted the bedroom, replaced the furniture we chose together, created spaces that reflect only my preferences. Friends I neglected during my marriage have started calling again, inviting me to poker nights and baseball games. I'm learning to enjoy the silence, to trust my own instincts, to value authenticity above everything else. The dating apps on my phone remain mostly unused. I'm not ready to trust someone else with the parts of myself that Claire broke. But I'm not bitter either. I'm careful, thoughtful, aware that love requires more than just feeling. It requires character, honesty, commitment to something larger than your immediate wants. Last week, Sarah called to finalize the divorce paperwork. Clean break, no alimony, assets split fairly. Claire signed everything without contest, perhaps understanding that fighting would only extend a process that has already cost her everything that mattered. The closure feels anticlimactic. 15 years reduced to legal documents and property divisions. But sitting here now, reading her final attempt at explanation, I realized something important. I didn't scream, didn't fight, didn't beg her to come back. I just let her lies bury her. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply step aside and watch someone destroy themselves. She lost everything. Her marriage, her career, her reputation, her future. And I walked away with my pride intact. I fold the letter carefully and walk to the fireplace. The flames consume her words quickly, reducing months of guilt and justification to ash. Tomorrow, I'm driving to the mountains for a long weekend. Alone, but not lonely. Free to make choices based on truth instead of deception. Ready to build something new on the foundation of who I actually am, not who someone else needed me to be. The house settles around me in comfortable silence. And for the first time in months, I sleep deeply and dreamlessly through the entire night. And that's the end of today's story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Your support helps the algorithm push my content further. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me keep creating more stories for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.